This video is very close to not existing because I forgot my microphone wire at home, and only coincidentally does my PS3 controller also use the same cord. So yeah, that's good, I guess. Also, apologies for any street noise if you can hear it. I just moved into a new apartment and there is a big road next to it. So apologies for that. Okay. Where's the script? Hold on. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. So on the topic of like the little level reviews me and Maddie have been doing, we promised that there might be a part 2. Don't think we can deliver on that because God, there's so much footage, and it took me like a week or two, like multiple weeks, to edit the first video, and I just skimmed through we did 2 more sessions reviewing the rest of the levels, and I think we say like 2 or 3 things of note. The rest is kind of just like basically a reaction video, and I don't think any of it is really worthwhile. So sorry guys. We'll definitely do a lot more of the piecewise, like pause, just like less scripted stuff, but you know, this video is I want it to be a little shorter, tighter, if only to make it easier for me on the editing side. And also it's just nice to have like a little scripted thing. I feel like you don't really do a level justice when you pause throughout it and take it like piecemeal. Yeah, true. We might like the larger topics, like the videos where we take levels piecewise. We're probably gonna like choose a theme. I mean, like Rob Top is kind of a loose theme, but we're probably gonna do stuff like covering like 1.9 nostalgia. I had like an idea to cover like the characterization of like demon levels, but there will definitely be some more structured stuff in addition to that. Maddie, my beautiful wife, will probably be featured a little bit less in the more like scripted and structured stuff, because it's kind of hard because I feel like conversationality is like a bit less conducive to videos like these. But she'll definitely be she'll be back for the longer videos. She's definitely gonna be in like the room for most of these recordings, if only to bolster my confidence.
I'm in the room.
She's in the room right now. If she wasn't here, I'd probably sound a lot more monotone and dull, because if I'm not around people, then I'm not animated. I think it may seem a bit like, not nepotistic, but a little funny that I'm deciding to like review a Jade level, given that like she made a level dedicated to us after the first episode of. I know. I promise though, I had this idea before that level came out. I really love her levels, and there's a lot to talk about. I wouldn't be surprised if like one out of every 4 one out of every 4 of these videos was a Jade level. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't do that. Okay, that's most of the housekeeping out of the way. Now into like the actual content of the review. Child by Jade is kind of a scary level. Not scary in the sense that the beginning half is dark and the cube disappears and you don't know where it's gonna go or reappear on your screen, or in even how disorienting it is, or in the scary buildup and the electricity that grows and grows. But scary in the sense that like it doesn't feel like, it feels impossible that a level of that quality was made so early into the update, into 2.2. The level begins with that dark foreboding, scary part where the cube reappears and disappears from various points on the screen. You're very disoriented, and then it builds. The cube completely disappears, and then the electricity starts building and building and building until the level just relinquishes all control. And if I'm allowed to say this, it's almost orgasmic in a way, and the camera effects are put on full display. It is probably the most synesthetically compelling bit in any Geometry Dash level I've ever seen, especially as it gets towards the end. Some of that shit, good lord, girl, like, damn. But besides that, it's not only scary in the sense that it feels too good for any creator to have made it, but also in the sense it kind of feels like it comes packaged with 2.2. It feels like 2.2 in a cultural sense. The tension, the angst, but the build up to it, and then the explosive, the release, the like opening the editor, and just it embodies the scale of opening the editor and just knowing that there's another infinite things to do besides what you could already do in 2.1. Especially in those moments where like the cube will just be in kind of like a little empty area, and it'll use those shaders that double the screen repeatedly as it pulls back to like such an exponential scale. It kind of, in its own right, it reminds whoever is like watching or playing the level, it reminds you of it embodies that infinite, like the possibilities of the editor. It makes the editor feel so large. It makes it feel like you really can do anything. It's such an inspiring level. I cannot reiterate how impressive it is that Jade managed to master the camera controls as much as she did, as early as she did, while most everybody was still toying around with them and seeing how they'd fit into their styles. On that topic, there's a sort of period of angst, I think, that's notable after every update. Like, whatever style, especially because the updates were coming more frequently, whatever style a creator had like gotten themselves in like a workflow of, they would just completely uproot and just make some radically different shit that like seemingly attempted to fit every new asset and tool into a single level that also kind of mimicked like whatever RobTop had going on in the official level for that update. The thing about 2.2 though is that we've been in 2.1 for so long that a sizable chunk of creators have basically typecast themselves into creating a certain type of level, especially after the 7 years of 2.1. So when 2.2 came out, despite adding more to the editor than any update prior, I never really saw anybody like make that sort of like angsty like early update type of level, besides maybe like a couple of like recent levels that I saw for fun. I remember like so many people talking about like, oh man, like I can't wait to see like what early 2.2 update levels look like, but I don't think we ever really truly saw that, other than maybe like the pixel art style platformer levels. I think that's probably the closest thing we have to any of the comparable periods of prior updates. People just picked up the new bits of 2.2 and integrated it like almost seamlessly into whatever they had going on in 2.1. I feel like Child kind of is that period of angst. It embodies that kind of period that we never had, or that we didn't really have in the scale that we did in most other updates. I think it's also it mirrors a lot of what like early 2.2 was for a lot of creators. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that, like, my first experiences, like when 2.2 initially dropped, my first experiences were just opening up the editor and gleefully like fucking around with various like shaders and camera triggers, and I don't know, it's very freeing, it's very liberating. That's what Child feels like. It feels like it feels so communal. It feels like transcendental. Jade really like captured the energy of the moment in a sort of timeless fashion, and I hope it stands the test of time. I think Child will age so well. I hope people are still talking about it like years down the line. I do think that part at the end, like at the very end, when the song just starts going crazy and the shaders on screen just kind of are like, it's like a wave, it's like undulating. I think that movement right at the end is probably my favorite bit, if only because it feels like it captures the song so well, and it also just feels so alien. It doesn't feel like Geometry Dash at all. It's awesome. I think a lot of Jade's success from this level, of course, like, she didn't have her hands on 2.2 before anybody else, but she does like have an extensive history of like line writer and, you know, messing around with the camera controls and that. And I think it would be like negligent if you didn't. I think you can't ignore her skill from those tracks carrying over into Geometry Dash, but God, it's still impressive. It's still really impressive. I think everybody watching this video should go back and play the level, watch it, form your own opinions. Tell me what you think in the comments if you agree. This is kind of like what Anthony Fantano says, I think, at the end of his stuff. Yeah, that's about it. It feels so like, it feels wrong. I'm so used to having like a hour and a half long like video file that I'm gonna have to comb through. I feel like I'm like, really am forgetting something. I might have to go back and like record some lines in post. Would like to give a thank you to Jade for making awesome stuff, to Maddie for supporting me and being awesome, and to all the creators out there of Geometry Dash levels or line writer tracks or whatever have you. Keep making awesome stuff. I love you guys. Bye. Take care.